Thursday, 31st of July, 2025. Coffee Time with Peter Gomez, and this is the third and final third of the program. We'll be reading out some messages. If you'd like to send us a message, 7711599. Good morning, Mr. Gomez. Please kindly inform Mr. Ibrahim Asila to fear Allah and let him bear in mind that he will be alone in his grave, inshallah, when no one will rescue him.
Yeah, that's a very poignant message that you got. And I think government officials in particular should fear that man's message, whoever sent that message. It's fearsome. My beef with what Minister Silla does, and I'm calling him minister because I respect the office he holds. My issue with his intervention is precisely what this government does.
Which is?
They deflect, they attack you personally, rather than answering your issues that you are raising.
Yeah, that was unfortunate, but he did speak about the 496.
Yes, and I'm saying that is.
And if this is the first time he's openly discussing this, that's
yes,
thanks to you.
For me,
because for a long time, all we heard about was the 80-20.
Yes, but there is this 96-4 also, and I've not said whether I sourced this internally or externally, but I have looked everywhere for this thing. When I come to these platforms, I do my homework. And when I come, I talk authoritatively. I don't just come and spew things. Now, his reaction shows that we elected these people to govern this country.
Well, they were not elected. We elected the president, who then chooses them.
Well, I said they because it's the president's government.
Okay.
I'm saying the entire government. We elected them to manage our affairs. And we are paying taxes for them to do that. When you pay taxes, you have to ask tough questions of your leaders. Agreed. That's what we are doing. That's the role of the opposition. There is no misinformation here. What I said is what he repeated, minus his personal diatribe. And I think it's very unfortunate for a state minister to come answer to my questions and then go personal with me. It's unfortunate, and I didn't expect a cabinet minister to behave like that. I want to make something very clear, Peter. When we say transparency, accountability, probity, there are audit reports, several of them, like I said, 5 years ago, such as the Secure Report report. The Secure Report contract is $160 million.
160 million, not billion.
No, million
okay.
dollars. That's the Secure Report. When you travel, you pay. When you go out, you pay. When you come in, you pay. That contract is opaque. We have the Banjul Roads. The Banjul Roads project, which his ministry oversaw, at the time was $2.4 billion, which was 41 million US dollars at the time.
I thought they said 35 million.
No, 41 million. Yeah, cost overruns do kick in. Now, when you look at how those roads were conducted, the flooding that they created, you realize these people are not serious with the infrastructure that they claim they are doing, and they are spending something like 2.4 billion on the streets of Banjul alone. Okay,
the flooding happened while the project was ongoing. Since the completion of the project, we haven't had any flooding.
Yes, I said that in another platform. I said the first year or so, there was flooding. There is no flooding. But I'm saying the cost cannot be justified.
Okay.
Just like the cost of the OIC roads cannot be justified because of the unit cost of a kilometer. He told you here, through Lamin Mane, my colleague, that it cost them about $6 million US dollars per kilometer. And we are saying international standards suggest that it should not go beyond $1 million. Now, they need to audit those OIC reports. In fact, the entire OIC operation needs to be audited. Rather than the minister coming on there to justify things, audit them and release the audit report.
Is that the responsibility of the National Audit Office?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is. You have the Fatmata Bar Foundation issue. That started in 2017, where $35 million were deposited in her account. According to the president himself, they didn't know where to put it, so they deposited it in her account. You know that story. Everybody who is listening knows that story.
But they explained that the money was used, to purchase air tickets so that they can go and attend whatever it was they are attending.
33 million? No, that's not acceptable. Let them bring that 33 million back to the treasury. It belongs to the treasury. It doesn't belong to her. It doesn't belong to anybody. It belongs to Gambians. And that is my point. The COVID-19 Ministry of Health scandal, 600 million Gambian dollars. These are audit reports. Gam Petroleum, the famous Gam Petroleum, the court case and all, 1.2 billion or 20 million US dollars gone in that scandal. The Gambia Ports Authority, Minister Silla's unit. There is just one unit, the ticketing unit. Everybody knows it was in the public domain. It was investigated by the police. It was referred to the Ministry of Justice, and it has been watered down, and it's still quiet. Nothing is happening in that area. These are the issues that we are talking about. When we say transparency, we are not saying they are not releasing information. We are saying you release the information, but there are no consequences for all this corruption that is going on. And you cannot call it anything but corruption, because that's what it is. Now, if he comes and says it's not corrupt, let them take legal action to remedy this situation. That's what we want, and that's what the Gambian public wants. I'm not through. There is this National Disaster Management Agency, 100 million Gambian dollars through an audit report went to the National Assembly. The National Assembly has acted. It is dead. Nobody is talking about it anymore. There is this Abasanyang case. There is the mega bank sale. There is the renovation of the airport. The list goes on and on and on and on. And we are saying there is lack of transparency and accountability because government is not acting on these audit reports. A lot of economic damage is being done to the country and to Gambians. And we are sitting here arguing about an opaque agreement that gives a foreign entity 80% of our national asset, and we are quarreling about that on air. I am ashamed to do that.
Okay. All right. That's all for now.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. Let me do some of the text messages coming in here. Good morning, Mr. Gomez and Mr. Sisay. Anytime you have Mr. Sisay on your show, I seem to be back in my high school classroom. He's a fantastic eye-opener. The privatization of our public assets, be it the seaport, the Senegambia Bridge, fishing agreements in our waters with foreign entities, is cause for concern to every Gambian. Using loan facilities to develop infrastructure and other schemes that do not generate income to offset the loan and its interest only mortgages our lives and the lives of our posterity. Acquisition of public property by the head of state, his cohorts, is abuse of public office and a betrayal of the Gambian people. I think the expectations of Gambians after 2016 haven't been realized, and this is coming from Ibrahim Abaji. It's interesting, he brings up the issue of, our seas and marine resources, because I understand that's up for renegotiation with the EU.
And the Senegalese one has just been recently renewed. You know, Mr. Baji is spot on because what this government is doing is actually mortgaging our figure. I'm quoting him there.
Yeah,
it's actually mortgaging.
I know the opposition likes to use the word mortgage, but they deny it vehemently.
There is a reason why we say it. The Senegalese fishing agreement, for example. Senegalese licenses have been given to Senegalese fishing entities. They can come and fish anywhere in the Gambian territorial waters. There is nobody there that actually guarantees that these guys are fishing in ways that meets international law of the sea standards. Nobody. So they are not going to release those how do you call it, those contracts also. And that's why I don't talk about those, because there is no way I can talk about what the Senegalese fishermen are doing or shouldn't be doing if I don't have the contract in hand. And I've looked everywhere for it. I can't find it. The EU contract is coming up for renewal. It's going to be the same opaqueness that we are seeing. In all the sectors of this economy, contracts are being signed. Gambians are not aware of the contents of those contracts. And when you raise them, they attack you personally.
All right. Peter, tell Sila, let him not be paranoid. Let him not speak with anger. I want him to know that he will not escape a red commission. Yaya Jammeh took Jawara government to the blue commission. Adama Barrow took Yaya Jammeh to the green commission. The next government shall take Barrow government to red commission, and that commission shall be very red. Nobody shall escape justice. And this person only signs off as Lamin.
Well, Lamin, I think there is.
I didn't know that the commissions were color
yes, they are
color-coded.
They are color-coded, depending on the seriousness of the.
So red is most serious.
Yes, most serious.
Where is green? Where is blue?
No, well, green and blue are somewhat not as serious. Well, green, you can reprimand, or if you're going to sentence, it's light sentencing. I think that's what green is about. Yellow is a bit over green in terms of severity, but red, that means you have a red card, you go straight to jail. So,
and this one says, good morning, Uncle Peter and Mr. Sisay. Please can Honorable Sila tell Gambians where and how we can get the contract document, period. Please, we need to know.
You see?
Which is the point you're making.
This is the point I'm making.
If it's out there, put it out there, let people read,
let people read it and draw their own conclusions.
I have the same position that issues raised by the public have to be addressed in an objective manner rather than going personal. Professional must be professional. Looks like, Good morning, Uncle Peter. Please tell your guest that Al-Bayrak paid 600 million euros to the Gambian government, which they never disclosed. And Al-Bayrak are helped by some government officials by reducing our wages, according to our union interim president. We are without any risk allowances, no employment letter. So sad, we the dock workers. I remember when the minister was here, I did say that we are getting disturbing information from the dock. This is, the plight of the dock workers.
Yes.
And I said it's about time, somebody really looked into the plight of the dock workers. Yeah. These are Gambians.
600 what?
600 million euros.
Euros.
According to.
Did the Gambia government ever disclose that they were paid 600 million euros? By Al-Bayrak? Well,
the government has, an opportunity to come on the program every week. Maybe the next time they are here, they'll have to... this is not from Lare Sisay, by the way. This is not from, Lamin Mane or whatever. This is from a dock worker. All right? This is from a dock worker, and I can confirm that it is from a dock worker because I know the number that it is coming from, and they really need to look into this. Nothing against... Al-Bayrak, nothing against the decision of the Ministry of Transport and Works, but we are simply saying that a new situation should not severely disadvantage people who are part and parcel of the whole setup, because I don't think they can continue without dock workers. They need dock workers.
They should not disadvantage Gambia, period. But they shouldn't disadvantage the dock workers, especially because these are the guys, this is some of the most treacherous jobs that you can have in a port. Some time ago also, the dock workers had an issue with their president. They accuse him of doing certain things. And these are some of the issues that we are talking about. When we say this government needs to act, we want them to have this information, act on it, and let there be consequences for these kinds of maladministration. Consequences have to be meted out, and they are not good at consequences.
All right. Good morning, Uncle Peter and Uncle Mr. Sisay. I never heard anybody call you Uncle Mr. Sisay. Well, just Mr. or Uncle usually does, huh? I like the way Mr. Sisay conducts himself during interviews with you. That shows he knows issues and understands them very well. Why most of the Gambia government ministers and the president always get angry so easily whenever citizens challenge them for their own programs and policies? Why angry when you believe what you're doing or done is the right thing? And let them understand that they are working for people, not themselves. People must challenge them. If they don't want to be challenged, let them leave and go do their private businesses. No one will go after them. Mr. Sisay is always very careful whenever he's invited to Coffee Time with Peter Gomez. He doesn't answer questions if he doesn't have the right information. You can be a minister, but that doesn't mean you know better than the rest of the citizens. Let Mr. Sisay keep educating the public. We are grateful, and the public knows the truth. This last contribution is for Dr. Sisay about the flower when Mr. Esafal talked about it when Dr. Sisay is not here. Maybe I should read that when Dr. Sisay is here next Tuesday. All right. And by the way, let me just seize this opportunity to say we are continuing our series trying to understand what's going on in the music industry. And tomorrow we are bringing the first lady artist on board, and it's going to be our bling. So tomorrow we have our bling. So, when somebody listens to Lare Sisay about the economic outlook, it's bleak. And once again, I keep saying, all the reports that come from the IMF, the World Bank, and all these development partners, I mean, they paint a rosy picture, yes. A very bright future for the Gambia. So, but you people are seeing something else.
This is the Ethiopian situation of our country. You see, Peter, when I follow the IMF's Article 4 consultations here, and they release their report, they paint such a nice picture of the Gambia's economy.
Yeah, it gives me hope. I tell myself I'm in the right country.
Yes, but then when you compare it to other countries that are doing much better, you realize one thing. And that's why I don't blame the IMF or the World Bank or EU or whatever foreign entity that does this analysis. I don't blame them. That's how they operate. Because they rely on the statistics and the analysis of the economy from the government, particularly the central bank. So when the IMF says Gambia is growing at 6%, it comes from the central bank. When they say, as in the last monetary meeting, MPC, that inflation has been reduced
to 7.2%.
7.2% from 7.5%, when you go to the marketplace, you don't realize that there is inflation, 7% inflation in the country.
But is that how inflation is measured? By, how much you spend on food and whatever? They explain this basket thing. I mean, I'm not grounded in economics.
That is just our economists' way of bamboozling people. When they say the economy is growing, I mean, inflation has been reduced from 7.5% to 7.2%. There are two ways of measuring that thing. Nominal, I mean, GDP rate as it reflects on inflation. Mm. The nominal growth rate and the real growth rate. With our case here, mm-hmm. you don't know which rate they are using. But when you say to me, the inflation has been reduced by 0.5%. But when I go to the market I realized the inflation has gone up by 3%.
Meaning you pay even more.
Even more.
For commodities.
Yeah. Now, during this gala protest, there was a young man there, and I marveled at his placard. His placard says, the price of bread is $12. Yen dengen sohor. That's what the placard said.
Well, yen here could mean the bakers.
Well, he says yen. It means society, people who produce, even the government. So if the inflation rate, the price of bread goes from $3 when I came into this country in 2016, I see it creeping up to 20.
It was $3 in 2016?
$3.
Ah.
$3. Then it went to $4. And then it went to $5. It's now $20.
No, $12.
$12.
Yeah,
I mean $12. It's gone up to $12. But that young man, I get his point, because he was saying, I used to be able to buy bread when I go to school, and I'll put butter or something else in it. He says, now I can't even afford that bread. Shouldn't that wake us up to the reality that we have two different worlds in this country? The world that says everything is good, the government is doing what it is doing, life is very good, you are earning what you need to earn, but the rest of us are not feeling that. Isn't that not what inequality means in a society, where you have one part of the society that is actually making it, and then you have a very large swath of that same society that is not making it, that is daily eking out a living, and government policy cannot help them. Now, that brings us to the 2025 budget, and I want people to internalize this. The 2025 budget was $52.98 billion. $52.98 billion.
Yeah, just say 53.
Yeah. Now, I used to say, Gambia, during Jawara's time, we talked thousands. Jammeh's time, now we are talking millions. Barrow's time, it's billions. Now, Gambians understand what a billion is. A budget of 53 billion. When you disaggregate it, 30.56 billion comes from taxes and grants. 30.5 billion, taxes and grants. Now, I think taxes are about 12 billion, grants are about 17 billion, so you have 30.56 billion as taxes and grants. The balance, 22 billion, are loans. And this is where Gambians ought to understand that this government just borrows and spends. If they were investing in the productive sectors of the economy that has an impact on the lives of Gambians, we wouldn't be here, would we? If I feel satisfied that my government is doing its very best for me as an individual, as a community, as a society, as a country, there will be no need for me to be here. I'm here because this structure of the economy is what is destroying us. We have an economy that is dependent on loans and grants and taxes. And until we can restructure that economy to move away from taxes and loans and grants, less dependent on grants, unless we can restructure the economy for that, we cannot move. The country cannot move. We have a situation where this rainy season, it's not raining very well. And this is August. Shouldn't the government be planning to declare some sort of an emergency where farmers can be assured that with or without planting, you're going to get something? But how can this government do that when they still owe farmers money for last year's groundnuts? How can this government do that? And then we have a situation where, rather than addressing those issues, we are getting threats.
Threats?
Threats, yes. Didn't the Minister of Agriculture say they are ready to spill blood for Barrow? Didn't the President say, I can do some bad things to people? Those are threats. And Gambians are listening. That just like the last message that you say. He says we are listening and we know the truth. And for me, that is very gratifying because we are getting somewhere in terms of raising the awareness of Gambians about the plundering that is going on in this country. Honestly, you cannot describe it in any way. When you look at all these audit reports, and these are 5-6 years old, when the new ones come, the level and the extent of the plunder will astound Gambians.
We await the outcome of of those reports. Just finally, how will a UDP government deal with these issues if the party were ever to be voted into office?
Simple. Go to Brikama Area Council. When Yankuba Dabo took over from the Brikama Area Council, it was sinking. He plugged the holes, so-called, where the Jongas and Jengs and Jais of this council made council's money their personal fiefdom. The council was in debt, he paid off the debt. The council became profitable. He's giving scholarships to students in West Coast. He's sinking boreholes that the central government should be sinking. You see, Peter, at the national level, I used to think it will be easy for us to deal with these issues, but it won't be easy because citizens may demand accountability. When you look at the sum total of all the plundering that is going on and you start plucking that, people are not going to like it, especially those who are benefiting from those holes. But it can be done. And I have the confidence that we have the intellectual muscle to do it. All you have to do is to stop this scandalous pilfering of resources. And this is why UDP's penultimate policy, as far as the whole country is concerned, is to say, we have zero tolerance for corruption, wherever it may be, wherever. Now, corruption is at levels. You cannot compare the corruption that happened in Brikama Area Council, because now the commission has finished with that. I can discuss that. They've finished their work. They've identified where the leakages are. And Yankuba and his team just came and plucked them. And the commission became profitable. I mean, the council became profitable.
Yeah. Maybe they should look at waste management as well, because because there's a lot of complaints about waste management in Brikama Area Council.
They ordered some trucks. Okay. I saw some 3 compact trucks, new ones that came just the day before. But Peter, Yankuba and his team are doing all this in 2 years. You cannot fix the rot of a whole government that goes back to Jamme's time and still expect it to be fixed immediately. But if you follow Brikama Area Council, this waste management that you are talking about, they have created a public works unit in the council that is having graders and tractors and stuff. And that is the model that UDP has. Yankuba's manifesto came directly from UDP's 5-point agenda. So those who sit there and say, 5-point agenda is not useful, it is useful. Because a lot of thinking went into it, a lot of people worked on it, and these are ideas that are still relevant, they are still valid, and a UDP government is going to take that and run with it. We need to tell Gambians to rely on the fact that a UDP government is not going to be allowing the kind of pilferage that is now going on.
Okay, credit to Yankuba Dabo. But what about Rohi Malik Low? Could she have had the same template of the UDP and decide not to use it, and that's why she is in the kind of mess she seems to be in?
I don't want to comment on the ongoing commission's work in Banjul and KMC and the other areas. They are through with Brikama, that's why I can
That's why you're discussing Brikama.
Yeah.
All right. Lare, thanks for coming.
Thank you. I have a message. A lot of people...
Yeah, sure. I'm going to give you an opportunity.
Good. Good.
I think I should even withdraw the right for that because you didn't bring me my saw this morning. All right. Yeah.
Unfortunately, even I don't have it.
Go ahead. Final message.
No, I got a lot of messages from a lot of people about this ST interview you had. I think...
No, rather the attack interview.
Yes, the attack interview. Yes. And a lot of people commended the reconciliation that took place. And that is the spirit of this country. But the comments that I have, they were saying you did not push hard enough when he made those statements. We all have our style of doing work. But for me, it points to one thing. And that is, this country needs to have a very difficult, serious, but necessary dialogue on ethnic or identity politics. We need to have that conversation. It's going to be a difficult conversation, but it's going to be a necessary conversation. Because you know what? The way the world is going, this is all about symbiosis. We have to live together, and we have to support each other to live together. So that conversation needs to happen. A lot of people sent me messages, don't go. I said, I will go. I made a commitment. In my where I come from, when you make a commitment, you meet the commitment, no matter what the consequences are. And I'm sure if I had spoken to my party leader, he's in the US, he would have told me to come. And he would have told me, send this message. Because we've been discussing it. We need to have this very difficult discussion on ethnicity and identity politics in this country. Unfortunately, the leadership itself is not doing as much as it could or can to address this issue. So now you're seeing an explosion of conflicts. You say something there, somebody comes and puts an ethnic tag to it. I say something here, somebody comes and says. So we need to sit as a country, as a people. Let's go back to the original setup we have.
No, let's just go back to why you would see Peter and Lare and, Lamin Mane and all these others interact. Yes. They are not of the same religion. That is a major issue today.
Yes.
I gave the example of a reporter that went to a platform to promote religious tolerance. An imam spoke. She carried the words of the imam. A bishop spoke. They dropped the words of the bishop. And you send me that report and expect me, if this is a religious tolerance platform. And I'm glad you're saying this. Now, the people who were asking you to come, they don't understand the purpose of this program. I've said here not once, not twice. Every opinion counts. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think I am responsible enough to know what statement destroys, and I insist. If you listen to those clips, they will mislead you. There is one Nyabali that stays in Gibraltar. Mm-hmm. At least he had the decency of calling me and saying, well, I am on a platform where you're being castigated because of a clip that was shared. Of course, with malicious intent. Yeah. And I said to him, don't worry. I sent him the link to the video. Yeah. He watched the whole thing. I have the recording. I could have played all these things. All right? That people who were swayed by this misleading clip, if they go and listen to the whole thing, Attack was asked a simple question. Yeah. What is the problem with the music industry? Why should he be afraid to say tribalism if it is tribalism? And that's what we are saying. You are right. We need to have these uncomfortable but necessary conversations. Yeah. Because, there are a lot of people who don't feel safe in this country anymore because they are afraid of saying things. Now, it will happen to some. It will not happen to everybody.
Yeah, but they shouldn't be afraid. This is an open society. It's an open country. And that's why I'm saying we need to go back to the way we used to do it. I am somebody who doesn't, in all these duty stations, when you tell me this is the way we do it, I park you on this side because I want new thinking. Yeah. But in this case, it is a question of symbiosis, as I have said. We have to live together. We have to marry each other. We have to interact, whether you are Mandinka, Fula, Sarahule, and all. We intermarry.
That's what we knew.
We used to have a community where people cared for each other, and that is where that is what we are losing now. This explosion of social media, the internet, it has its serious advantages, but one of the biggest disadvantages is the way some people use it in order to make a point. So I'm saying those who have contacted me, I had a lot of calls and messages since that interview. And when the flyer went out to say I'm coming, a lot of them say to me, don't go. I came.
I knew you would come.
Yeah.
I knew you would. Your thinking is way above theirs.
Well,
this is me saying. I'm not saying. Don't endorse it. This is me saying.
I'm not sure about that, but I do know, and this is out of my conviction. After serious reflection, I do know that we need to have a national conversation on identity politics. It is going to be difficult. It is going to be serious, but it is necessary. If we want to take this country where we want to take it, we have to have this conversation.
Lare, thank you so very much for ending the conversation on that very positive note. And that's our raison d'etre.
Yeah.
All right, that's our raison d'etre. We are part of the building blocks of this country. We are not part of the small axis chipping away from the pillars and foundation of the country we want to build.
And we will get there. Somebody in a chat group, WhatsApp chat group, called me at 2.
Called what?
2. They called me at 2 in the morning.
Oh, okay.
And I picked up the phone. He says, "Oh, I'm sorry." I said, no. You know the time difference. So tell me what you want to tell me. No, I'm sorry to wake you up. I said, I didn't tell you I was sleeping. I'm walking. I'm walking.
Yeah.
So tell me what the chat group started. I said to them, guys, you look at one clip and you are going to go and attack somebody for that one clip. Like you said, pick up the phone, call the guy. He's a public figure. He has a radio station. Call him. The numbers are all over his
I didn't put out a clip. I put out a whole interview.
Yes. No, I'm saying they took a clip of
That's what I'm saying.
And
so that person, they should know that I don't put out clips.
Yeah.
I don't have TikTok. What I have is YouTube. The whole interview.
Yeah.
All right? Come to me after you've listened to the whole interview.
Yeah.
Like this Nyabali fellow that I'm saying.
Yeah.
I commend him.
Some people are fair. Some people are fair. But we need to have this conversation.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day...
And why jump around? Ask yourself, why did this person only, feed us with this clip? I mean, this was a 50-minute interview.
Yeah.
So they give you, what, a 30-second clip, and you want to judge me based on that?
But Peter, is the same thing. They did the same thing to Yankuba Dabo. When he said in the Busumbala meeting that we will not wait for the IEC to tell us...
So the people who consume their news that way, they are the ones that have a problem.
Yes.
It's not the people who are making the news or reporting the news.
And that's why we need to isolate them. Because Yankuba said a lot of positive things in there, but they latched onto that clip and interpreted it to say he's violent, he's tribalist. We are too quick to label in this country. We are too quick to attack personally. What he said was...
Just because, and it's a reflection
of
the narrow-mindedness of these people. Because if there is a 50-minute, interview out there, and you only take a 30-second, it just shows narrow-mindedness.
Yeah.
It's a reflection of that.
Yeah.
All right. We are not doing anything under the carpet. Everything we are doing, we upload there, complete.
Yeah.
So go get the full picture, and then come back to me.
Yeah.
Larry,
Yeah,
if we
you.
keep going, we will go on till I have another 3 hours, to prepare for on 95.3. Again, tomorrow we are going to have our Bling as our guest. Of course, every Friday now we will talk to one artist or another. Thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. And join me again tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
Excellent jam, Sisay.
Yo, apply. Yo, luta do dede. Luta mo nulo jël moto nga andil ma xaalis. Hello?
Busol mo fine.
What?
Busol mo fine.
Oh, yes!
Wave Axina Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills, and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. At Wave. Busol mo fine? Wave. Your money is yours.